I would like to address the issue of presidential prerogative and war powers authority. One of the most contentious issues that's facing the United States today as we enter into the primary season that's leading up to the '08 presidential election is that of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. And this is hardly a unique situation for our country. We've experienced significant national strife over war issues in our recent past, ranging from our involvement in Bosnia in '95, Operation Desert Storm in '91, the U.S. invasion of Panama in '89, and the invasion of Grenada in '83, and going all the way back to our involvement in Vietnam back in the '60s and early '70s. And there is one overriding historic fact that unites all of these military undertakings, and this would also include, by the way, the Korean War in the early '50s. And that unifying feature is that all of these ventures have been extra-constitutional, or to be quite blunt, they were unconstitutional wars. When the founders pondered the formation of our new government while meeting in the convention in Philadelphia back in 1787, when they ultimately drafted our current Constitution, they engaged in serious, thoughtful deliberation. They knew only too well what was at stake. It was the very survival of the government that they had just created and had won its independence from the British Crown. And at the close of that convention, when Ben Franklin was leaving Independence Hall, he was asked what type of government the new Constitution had created, and he reportedly answered, "A republic if you can keep it." And one of the keystones of a republic is its separation of powers, with each of the three branches of government having distinct delegated authority. Now, Article 1 begins with the words, "All legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States." And Section 8 of that very same article states, "Congress shall have the power to declare war," period. Now, the problem that we face is that in recent decades, the executive branch has overreached its constitutional authority, and the legislative branch, the House and the Senate, have simply allowed it to happen. Now, it's an historic fact that the President has not sought and the Congress has not issued a declaration of war since December 8th of 1941. Our elected legislators in Washington seemingly have lacked the courage to demand the very authority that is granted to them by the Constitution of the United States. And frankly, given Einstein's definition of insanity as doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, it would be irresponsible on the part of we the people to expect anything to change. What we need is a constitutional amendment to protect our republic from any further erosion of the separation of powers, which has the dangerous potential of leading us down a path towards autocracy or worse. Now, a war powers amendment to the Constitution is absolutely critical, and it would read essentially as follows. The Chief Executive of the United States shall, with the consent of Congress, have the authority to engage in limited military engagements for a period not to exceed 90 days, when it is deemed necessary to preserve national security. No such limited military action shall extend beyond 90 days from commencement thereof without a formal declaration of war by Congress pursuant to Article 1, Section 8 of our Constitution. Violation of this amendment by either the executive or the legislative branch should result in immediate expulsion from office and the possibility of criminal prosecution. Unfortunately, our elected leaders have demonstrated that they are unresponsive to anything less. Now, I invite citizens from all across America, from every point of the political spectrum, to join me in helping bringing about a War Powers Amendment. Thank you very much.